Hey everybody, and welcome back to Ritual Motions, RMTV's weekly download. I am your host, Dana Paul. We have a really exciting show. We have Dee, who is a Twitch streamer that's going to be on the show. And as always, we have our very own Jamie, which will give us updates on everything going on in the world of esports. But let's not wait any longer, and let's bring on Dee. Dee, welcome to RMTV's weekly download.
Hey, thanks for having me.
How are you doing today?
Very well. What about you?
The sun is shining, so we have that going for us, and it's summertime, so it feels nice. It feels warm.
Oh yeah, same here. We've had beautiful weather.
So Dee, I know we've had opportunities to talk. I've had a lot of opportunities watching you play. Oh, and by the way, congratulations on your 4-year anniversary with Twitch streaming. That's very exciting.
Thank you very much. Feels good. I can't believe it. It's been 4 years.
Right? And I'm sure the past, out of that 4 years, the past 3 months probably have felt like 4 years.
Oh yeah. It's been so busy lately, which is good.
Yeah, busy is good. So why don't, for the community, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I stream on Twitch. That's my full-time job, which is something, of course, I never would have expected, but here I am. And I stream Sea of Thieves full-time, which is a game that you can play on Xbox or PC. And every now and then I'll play other games in there as well. But I'm really excited to be on Ritual Motion today because I think we have a lot of the same views. Like, I'm super into fitness as well. I play soccer, I do bodybuilding. And so I love the idea of combining the two worlds of fitness and gaming, or, being mindful of health and nutrition and things like that as well. So yeah, I'm missing soccer right now with all the quarantine. I would have been playing 3 days a week, but I haven't been able to. So, and now I'm working out at home, but hey, we make it work, right?
We do make it work. And yeah, it is true. We do really think about the wellness, overall wellness of gamers and streamers, which a lot of folks don't think about that. So it's important, and I'm happy to see that you're out there and trying to still, even though during this crazy time, still trying to keep active. Let me ask you a question. This comes up all the time. I've been asked it a zillion times. I'm sure you have, what got you into gaming? Like, what was that first game where you had that moment where you're like, wow, I'm hooked?
Okay, so it all started with my brother and I. I don't know how old we were. We had to have been in elementary school, and we got a Sega Genesis. So, of course, our first game was Sonic, and we played a lot of Sonic. I never got too much into the console games, but he always loved games. And I swear, it's so funny that I ended up as a Twitch streamer and not him, because he would always sit there and be like, come watch me play. And I'm like, who wants to watch somebody play video games and not play them? And now here I do that full time. But so after a while, we got a computer. And once we got a computer, that's when I really started getting into games. And I would play The Sims all the time, SimCity, and all the other games like Amazon Trail I really loved. Not Oregon Trail, Amazon Trail. But what got me hooked the most was the Diablo games. Diablo 1, definitely Diablo 2, and then EverQuest. Man, I would stay up till 2 in the morning in the summertime playing that game.
It is. It is kind of, it's so interesting, and people who don't game, it's hard to explain to them. So for me, and you just got to promise you can't laugh. My first game that I got really hooked on was Donkey Kong, right? And it was so frustrating because I talked to it with my friends, and all of a sudden Tim, my buddy, was always 3 levels ahead of me, right? So it became not only this quest to beat Tim, which, by the way, I finally did beat his record. But it became also in the sense of, and I don't know if you experienced it, where escapism. You're in the game, and whether you're playing against the game yourself or whether you're with other points, it's just a point of kind of letting go of everything else,
Oh, yeah.
which I always thought was really interesting. And now it seems more of these games, they're focusing more and more on that whole part of being escapism. I mean, look at Animal Crossing, right? I mean,
Oh, it's so big right now.
you know, it's the ultimate game on just kind of like forgetting about everything that's going on in the world and just kind of just falling into that moment of playing the game, which I think is really cool.
And with my game, like, I play Sea of Thieves. It's just the thing of like you get started on something. It's like starting a project, and you're like, if I log off, I've wasted this time. So you get pulled in, and you just want to finish what you started too. So you end up spending that time in there.
So on average, right? Like when you start, how long is a session for you when you start playing?
Usually about 7 hours. Sometimes more, sometimes less, depends on what's happening. Like the exact thing I was just saying last week, there was a thing that you could earn a cosmetic in the game by completing a certain task a number of times. And I, of course, put it off until the end. And so I ended up streaming for 11 hours trying to get it done. And I ran out of time, but I didn't even care. I just enjoyed the whole process of it. So it just, I mean, it's like how you feel, but about 7 hours a day.
Wow. So like at what point then, D, like going back a little bit too, so it's 4 years on Twitch. Like at, what point did you say I want to stream? Like you made that move because a lot of folks in the community I know are constantly chatting with us about like how do I turn this passion into like a business, right? And something I really want to do. And at what point, what was that point for you and what was that like when you made
So
that?
I did work full time, a government contractor here in DC, and then I started off my streaming career just streaming in the evenings and the weekends when I was not working. It was a lot of work, and I felt like I was working constantly, but it really paid off for me. And after I think it was about like 9, 10 months of streaming, then I was able to switch it to full time. And I will say I got really involved. I was streaming Clash Royale at the time, which it's a mobile game, but they were really starting to create an esports scene,
Mm-hmm.
and I got involved in that esports scene. And so I think like you can do Twitch, but I feel like you got to have like other projects on the side for it to be able to do it full time and for it to be sustainable for you. So, and I mean, there's so many different avenues. Things pop up all the time, to where you can kind of get yourself involved in that or to make it like income wise sustainable for yourself. But for me, it started with working in their esports as well as streaming on Twitch.
That's interesting. So, are you more when you're streaming? Are you more of a daytime streamer? Are you more of like nighttime streamer? Like when do you tend to stream?
I am an early bird. I can't tell you how many times people get on. They're like, "Why are you on so early?" Because I start my stream at 7 a.m. our time, 7 a.m. Eastern, every weekday, and I go straight until about 2 p.m. Eastern usually.
So do you find that's really so with your community that you're building and you got a great following. I mean, I love, we watch your channel and you always have several hundred people following you and playing the game with you. Do you find at that time are you getting folks like are you getting folks from the East Coast? Are you getting European folks because they're 7 hours ahead of us? Like where do you feel your community is coming from?
Definitely at the start of the stream, there's a lot of Europeans because yeah, their time zone, and I got a lot of Australians at the start of the stream as well. And then as the day progresses, like the East Coast, there's people that wake up with me every day. And then as the stream goes on, then my West Coast people tend to join in once it's a more normal hour for them. But I even have an emote that says work and lurk. And I think that's the majority of my stream is a lot of people that they're working and lurking, which somebody doesn't know what lurking means. It just means that you have the Twitch stream pulled up. Maybe you'll chime in chat every now and then, but you're also working as well. So it's just kind of like your side thing. You're not fully engaged though.
That's interesting. Yeah. Now it makes me wonder how many like folks that are managers are going to watching this and start thinking like, huh? Now I wonder why they have two laptops. Yeah, exactly. Have two laptops playing at the same time. So, out of the past 4 years, and like, what do you think has been one of the most rewarding things for you personally, as being a full time gamer, streamer?
So I have a few different answers to that. Like one, I guess like career wise for me, I always kind of knew that like, cause I really like the whole entertainment side. of that aspect. I love doing hosting and the shoutcasting and the being on stage like as myself. So not acting per se, but just being on stage as me and presenting the game or shoutcasting it. So I think one of the like complete highlights of my life was there was a world finals for Clash Royale. And I got the chance to go to London, and it was at the Copper Box Arena where they held the Olympics. And it was a whole worldwide tournament. All the top players from the different regions all came in and competed, and it was a really big deal. So I think for me that was such a like highlight moment for me, and it was such a proud moment for me. So I think that was a highlight in that sense. But then one of the other most rewarding things about it is the people that you meet. I mean, get the opportunity to meet people that are all over the world, and I learn so many things from like small little things to big things about other cultures from people that I feel like I'd never get to meet them outside the gaming world.
Yeah, I think, it is, in some ways, it's the ultimate social media platform, right? Like, so we can go on social media and you can go on Instagram and you can go on Facebook, and a lot of that is a one-way conversation, right? You wrote a post, someone's reading it, and that's really about it. And they may make a comment, but with gaming, it's so much more interactive. I feel that it's you're not only watching the person play, but you're literally engaged in what they're doing. And I know a lot of our community, they'll watch particular streamers for the pure fact, like you were saying, just to learn, right? Just to learn certain techniques, just to learn certain things. So now when they go to play, they can kind of take those what they've seen D do, right, and now take those and apply those when they play in their game to try to go up the next level. You know.
Oh yeah. And we have conversations about the most random things, like completely non-game related that I've learned from people as well,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Do you think you've gained some like friends over like just over the course of 4 years in
Oh
the
yeah.
virtual world?
Oh my gosh, yes. I've met so many people like that we've met through Twitch, and then we end up meeting up at TwitchCon or hanging out like people that I meet in the DC area. Like they'll do Twitch DC meetups, and so we've met there. And so I mean, one of my main mods, she lives like 30 minutes away from me, but we just happen to meet through Twitch.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah, you hear those stories all the time. I love that because you hear that all the time. You hear folks who are like, "Oh yeah, I was playing this game and I ended up playing against someone, and you only knew their gamer tags, but then they realized that all of a sudden they're like right down the road." Like one of our affiliates who is a speedrunner, and this guy Jay, and we were following him. He became an affiliate. We were like, wow, he's doing some really cool stuff. In January he went over to France and he won like this championship. And it comes to find out that he literally is like 20 minutes from where the Virtual Motion office was.
That's so cool.
It's so wild how like it comes together. What's fascinating is, and one of our big mantras at Virtual Motion has always been inclusion. And I'd love to, and I know that once again our community would just love to hear like what advice you have, because there's so many female gamers out there that are inspiring to be like where you're at, right? And the one thing I've loved about esports and gaming is it's a level playing field, right? So it doesn't matter how fast someone runs, how much they lift, when you're playing someone, it becomes a mental strategy game, right? So it's really, that's what I love about it. And I think it would be really great if you can kind of just talk to folks about how how you got, once again, where you are as a female gamer, and what advice you can give other female gamers.
I mean, it is like you make a good point. I mean, the thing about like Twitch and gaming is like unless you're on voice comms with people, like you don't know who's on the other side of that screen. Like you have no idea about anything about them. So like that's the beauty of it. It could be like a girl, it could be a guy, it doesn't it could be anybody. It could be a kid, it could be a 10-year-old kid that's completely dominating.
Yeah.
But I think for females it is like, it can be hard, it can be intimidating because it is right now primarily male dominant area, but I don't know. I feel like you just have to go for it and don't ever let that hold you back, because like I've certainly had my dealings with people in a negative sense for me being female, but I tell you what, like those interactions are so far and few compared to the positive ones that I've had, and the opportunities that people have given me, like, because they don't care, like, if you're male or female, if you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing, you're good, like, you're going, I don't know, you can succeed as well. And I guess that's the biggest thing, is just don't let anybody hold you back. And I've learned from this as well that like the negativity that you deal with it doesn't matter. And I've learned to never take it personal as well. I mean, these are just people from behind a computer screen sometimes, and like the negativity, like it's things that they would probably never say in person. And guys deal with it too, just like women do. And so I think that would be my biggest thing. It's just don't be scared of that, because there's really nothing to be scared of, and people will stand by you and people will support you way more than they're ever negative to you.
Yeah, I agree, and I think we see that a lot. I think there are definitely certain games where it may be a little bit more challenging, and I'd even say the environment may be a little toxic in some of the games. But then that's just a minority of it. And I think most of the community really loves being part of the community, and it's all about playing together, right? It's not he, she. It's all about just playing together. So I think that's important. Random question: do you play Smash Bros at all?
Never.
Ah.
Never played it.
Well, we are doing so. I got to make a shameless kind of plug here. We're doing this really big tournament, Super Smash. It's a free tournament to sign up for, and we're doing it with the Stonewall Foundation. So it's called Playing for Pride. So I don't know. You may want to just practice your Super Smash Bros. Skills and see how it goes. But I do want to thank you for taking the time today. I know it's a beautiful day out, and you probably just got off of a 7-8 hour stream. So really appreciate you kind of coming on and telling us a little bit about your story and letting the community get to know you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we will, underneath this, we'll have your Twitch channel, and we'll have your all of your social media channels too. So I suggest everyone, please see the links below, follow Dee, watch her on Twitch, really entertaining and really good. And that'd be great. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks again for having me. This is awesome. I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Dee, awesome job. Love checking out your streams. See you play Sea of Thieves. It's one of my new favorite games. So really cool to see, and thank you for joining us. So we're going to talk about Microsoft and Mixer. That's big in the news today. Microsoft is shutting down Mixer and will be joining Facebook Gaming. That's an interesting kind of interesting move on Facebook's part, and Microsoft's part. But Microsoft will work with Facebook on integrating the xCloud in the future to help benefit the streaming service of Facebook Gaming. Now, it brings up an interesting kind of sense of confusion, because I know a lot of the top gamers left Twitch to go to Mixer once Mixer got started. But because Mixer is shutting down, some of the top gamers are now allowed to leave Mixer and stream elsewhere. This will be interesting in the sense of it's a big question on whether or not Ninja is going to go back to Twitch or where he's going to end up streaming. Last but not least, Endeavor RX becomes the first FDA-approved video game to be used as a medical prescription for kids that are diagnosed with ADHD. This is awesome in my opinion, because there's no better remedy for than a little video games. So that's all we have for this week. Dana, thank you, and we'll see you next week for the Esports Weekly Update.
All right, everybody, thank you so much. I want to thank Jamie, as always, for those updates. And I also want to thank Dee for coming on the show. Dee's information you can see down below. Please check her out on Twitch. She's an amazing streamer, an amazing person. Don't forget, if you have any comments, questions, you can reach us at rmtv@ritualmotion.com. I want everyone to be well, but before I leave, I want to check in with Dave and see what game Dave is playing. Dave, what are you up to?
I am playing 1987 Nintendo Entertainment System, Konami, action horror video game classic Castlevania. What I really love about Castlevania is sweet, sweet, sweet music. Castlevania is one of my favorite games of all time, and here's an interesting fact about me and Castlevania. Oh, did you see that jump? I have never beaten it. I got this game when I was approximately 12 years old. It was one of the greatest games I've ever bought. I was so excited. Haven't beaten it. I can't beat it now. Haven't beaten it then. I'm gonna take you out here, the end of the show, roll the credits as I defeat ghosts, goblins, bats, and ghouls. Peace!